Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Tucked away in the peaceful little town of Aurora, Texas, lies a cemetery that might seem like any other small town burial ground. Quiet, modest, with headstones weathered by time. But there's something extraordinary here. A story so strange it has drawn curious visitors for over a century. Among the graves of local farmers and pioneers, people believe this cemetery holds the resting place of an alien pilot from a UFO crash in 1897. This legend is more than just a quirky bit of small-town folklore. It's part of the greater history of the late 19th century America, a time when curiosity about flying machines and the possibility of life beyond Earth was growing. It all began on April 17, 1897, when local newspapers, including the Dallas Morning News, reported that an unidentified flying object had crash-landed on the property of Judge J.S. Proctor. According to the reports, the craft wasn't a balloon or anything known to man at the time. Witnesses described it as a cigar-shaped airship, an odd description given that airplanes had yet to make their debut, with the Wright brothers' first flight still 6 years away. The UFO allegedly collided with a windmill on Proctor's farm, causing an explosion that scattered debris over several acres. But the most remarkable part of the story wasn't just the crash. It was what the townspeople claimed to have found among the wreckage, the body of a being that was not human. The newspapers described the pilot's remains as mangled beyond all recognition, but noted that the body appeared to be not of this world. According to accounts, the townspeople collected the remains and, in a peculiar twist of frontier hospitality, gave the extraterrestrial pilot a proper Christian burial in the town's cemetery. To fully appreciate the Aurora incident, it helps to understand the broader context of UFO sightings during this period. In the late 1800s, there was a wave of so-called airship sightings reported across the United States. Long before modern UFO sightings became a common narrative, people in rural America were already looking to the skies and reporting strange lights and craft. Many of these early UFO reports were fueled by public fascination with the idea of human flight, which seemed just around the corner. The concept of airships, large, dirigible-like flying machines, was not entirely far-fetched for the time. Newspapers often published stories of mysterious inventors testing new flying machines, and sometimes hoaxes were part of these reports to sell papers. But what makes Aurora's story stand out is the inclusion of an extraterrestrial being, a detail rarely mentioned in other airship sightings. Driven by curiosity, I decided to visit Aurora Cemetery myself. It's a modest place, shaded by large oak trees with graves dating back to the late 1800s. There's no longer a headstone marking the alien pilot's grave, though stories say there once was. Over the years, people tried to dig it up, and the original marker was allegedly stolen in the 1970s. Standing among the gravestones, you can't help but feel a sense of wonder. Was this just a clever hoax concocted by the townspeople to save their declining town? Or did something truly strange happen here? Aurora in the late 1800s was dealing with hard times. A railroad that had been promised never arrived. The local cotton crop had been devastated, and the population was dwindling. Some have speculated that the alien crash story was a last-ditch effort to keep Aurora from fading into obscurity. Yet, despite the skepticism, the tale persists. Even the Texas Historical Commission added a marker outside the town acknowledging the event, lending a strange kind of legitimacy to this small-town mystery. Over the years, various UFO enthusiasts, researchers, and even television crews have visited the site, each hoping to uncover something that might reveal more about what happened that day in 1897. Whether you believe in aliens or not, the story of the Aurora crash offers a fascinating glimpse into the mindset of the time. This was an era of invention and imagination, where the boundaries of human possibility seemed to expand with each passing year. The notion that we weren't alone in the universe was not only exciting, but, for many, entirely plausible. Even today, the Aurora alien grave remains an enigma, fueling the imaginations of those who visit the cemetery. With no definitive evidence left behind, the story remains part of Texas lore, an unsolved mystery that blurs the lines between fact and fiction. It's a reminder that sometimes the most interesting stories don't have all the answers. Instead, they leave us with questions, inviting us to keep searching for the truth hidden beneath the Texas soil. Thanks for spending time with me on the Ancestral Findings podcast. I always enjoy sharing these stories, tips, and discoveries with you. If you haven't already, head over to ancestralfindings.com, where you can download a free genealogy ebook, request a free lookup, and of course enter to win the next book giveaway. It's been an incredible journey together since 1995, and your support through these past 29 years means more to me than words can express. I'm so grateful for this wonderful community of genealogy enthusiasts who continue to inspire me every day. Keep up the great work on your family history research, and may your next find be as exciting as your first. Thank you again for being part of this journey, and as always, happy searching.